For 415 days, my life ran off of a time clock and an RF scanner. For 11 years, I convinced myself that if I just work harder, things will go my way. Well, honey, that was a lie. I was trapped. I'm still trapped. The thumb knacking of the time clock wasn't just a sound. It was the beat of my life. A constant reminder that time wasn't really mine. Warehouses' fluorescent lights were my sunlight, and the concrete floors are my entire world. It's a life of repetition, of being bone tired, and the feeling of my creative side slowly, quietly fizzling out. Stuck in the classic cycle, earning just enough to be too afraid to quit, but not nearly enough to feel free. Let me ask you a question. What if the very thing that got you feeling stuck is actually the key to your escape? Now, this isn't just a story about how I want to quit my job. Because I do not dream of work. I'm just going to be real with you. I do not dream of work. I do it because I have to. It's the story of how I'm turning the most boring years of my life into the fuel that I'm going to use to launch myself into becoming a full-time creator. So you can do the same thing. 11 years is long enough to get a PhD. 11 years is long enough to watch a kid go from being born to go to middle school. 11 years is long enough for you to become a master at something that you love. Me, it was long enough to become an expert at stacking boxes and telling myself that this is it. This is all that there is. I'm not just working in a warehouse. I'm living on pause. Every morning starts with a silent argument with my alarm clock. My body aches before I even stand up. It's like getting tired in advance for the day. The work can be brutal, lifting the same thing over and over again. Hours on my feet and the constant roar of machinery all day. It can honestly grind you down. And not just your body, but your spirit. Often feels like the world just shrinks down to the four walls of the building. And you start to think that your value is based off how many pallets you can move, how many boxes you can get done, how many products can you scan. And let me tell you, the worst part isn't even all the physical stuff. For me, it's the feeling of being mentally and emotionally empty. As a new YouTuber, I come home too tired to write scripts, too drained to film, and honestly, too beaten down to even dream. The job doesn't just take my time. It steals energy that I need to actually build something. And do you know what actually makes this whole thing like worse? It's like the cherry on top of the bad cake is scrolling online. And I talk about this all the time on this channel, but scrolling online and seeing other people making the jump, leaving their 9-to-5s to chase the dream. And I would be lying if I would say that there aren't times where I get this like really weird mix of inspiration but also jealousy. It often feels like they know a secret that I just don't know. And this like trapped feeling isn't just a word. It's a heavy blanket of fear and routine. I tell myself that it's stable and that it's the responsible thing to do. But deep down, I know I am just hiding. But it's all I think about now. It's truly all I think about. It's like a slow burn. 1,000 tiny moments of quiet inspiration piling up. But let me tell you, it was this one day that something just clicked. I was standing on the line, as I usually do, picking, packing, making boxes, taping boxes, the usual. My back was screaming. I was so aggravated. We have to lift up pounds. We have to lift up boxes that weigh 30 to 50 pounds, and you have carts full of them. And in that moment, as I was reaching for a box of dog food, I thought to myself, what am I doing with my life? Who am I, and what do I stand for? I didn't recognize the man that was standing in front of me. His eyes were tired, shoulders were always slumped. And in that moment, I just knew. I knew that if I spent another 11 years doing the same kind of work, there would be absolutely nothing of the person that I wanted to be. And I can say now that the cost of staying is finally higher than the fear of leaving. The cage isn't safe anymore. It almost at times feels like a threat. But like now I know with certainty that I have to find the key. But let me tell you, this moment of clarity did not just magically start opening doors. Honey, I still have bills, I got a car note, and I got an entire life to plan out. I'm only 30, but quitting on the spot is not an option either. So I have to play this smart, and this is where the story flips. This is where my dead-end job stops being my prison. It stops being my prison, and it starts becoming my secret weapon. You see, what I'm learning is that I have to completely reframe the situation. First is a mind shift change. I have to stop looking at my job as a waste of time and start seeing it as a strategic asset. It's the first stable launch pad that I've ever actually had. This means no more complaining, or maybe just a less complaining. And definitely no more feeling sorry for myself. No. It means taking total ownership. As James Clear says, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the levels of your systems. From Atomic Habits. Great book. Highly recommend it. Go check it out. My 9 to 5 is going to become a part of my success. I have to stop being a victim of my circumstances and start being an architect of my future. And this leads me to the most critical part, the practical plan. I need to break it down into two things: financial fuel and skill fuel. For financial fuel, as crazy as this may sound, but I need to get ruthless. My steady paycheck just means that I can create a strict, no excuses budget, which I need to be doing. I can track every dollar, every cent, honey. My plan is to start a freedom fund or a no excuse fund, a separate account just for saving up 6 to 12 months of expenses. I also mentioned something like this in one of my previous videos on how to actually turn your YouTube checks into steady flowing income, so you're not depending on the AdSense revenue to gain financial freedom. But I can track every cent of overtime. I can plan out every bonus, and that all can go into that account. I have been doing my very best to cut out non-essential things and just to reduce the amount of money that I'm spending, which is a big reason of why I am homeless. Hey girl, homeless? And it's not about punishing myself. That's not what it is. It's about buying back my freedom. $1, 1 cent, 1 nickel, 1 dime, 1 quarter at a time. I have to think about it like this. The job that I hate is directly funding my escape. Now, my job can be physically exhausting at times. Yes, that is true. But it is also mentally like super simple. It is easy, girl. Easy. It leaves my mind free. And on my breaks, instead of just scrolling on my phone, I practice my skills. Singing, editing, writing. On my commute, I listen to podcasts about online businesses. I recently just got my certificate for digital marketing through Coursera. And here is where I started seeing my job as a classroom. You'd be shocked about what a warehouse can teach you about content creation. Inventory management, that's just data analysis. I was tracking assets and making sure that everything was accurate. A key skill for managing a content schedule or looking up channel analytics. Meeting quotas, getting them numbers up, that's just performance under a deadline. Team meetings, that's communication and teamwork, which you absolutely need. Collaborate with other creators. The sheer discipline of showing up every day, even when you don't want to. That builds the resilience that you need to run this marathon of being a content creator, especially on the days where you just do not feel inspired. I started actively looking for lessons. That boring work became practice, and eventually I want to start a tiny side hustle. Not to get rich, but to practice these new skills where the stakes are low. That's going to be my training ground. The money isn't the main point. The experiences, honey. I want to build a portfolio. And more importantly, prove to myself that I can do it. Just prove to myself that I got what it takes. Finally, I have to overcome the obstacles. The biggest one for me is just plain fear. The fear of failing, the fear of going broke, fear of what people would say. My Freedom Fund is going to be the answer to my fear of money. My new skills that I'm learning are going to be the antidote to my fear of failure. The fear of judgment. I need to build a small group of friends who will cheer me on. But there are setbacks. Days where I want to quit. And on those days, I have to look at my savings or the nice comments someone made and just remember what I'm building and why I'm building it. It's a grind working a day job, honey. Then coming home to work on your dream. For the first time in years, I'm not just tired. I'm tired with a purpose. By the way, this whole process of reframing and planning is the most powerful thing that I've done. If you're feeling stuck right now, drop a comment. One transferable skill you picked up from a job you thought was going to be a dead end. Hey, and if you are getting anything out of this story, hit the subscribe button and make sure to stick around. Always say that we are all in this together. Life of a full-time content creator isn't easier. I think it's just better. The safety net of a regular paycheck will be gone, and your income can be all over the place, especially at the start. 40-hour work week? Honey, that's a joke. I work just as much at the warehouse. The difference, though, this work gives me energy instead of draining it. The problems that I had to solve are creative and strategic, not physical and soul crushing. Some days are filled with self-doubt, and others are filled with an incredible high of making things and actually seeing it connect with people. It's a roller coaster. It definitely is a roller coaster, but at least I'm the one that's driving it. So if it goes down, it's because of me. If it goes up, it's because of me. I control it. So this brings me to the promise that I made in the title. I'm going through all of this so maybe you can find a shortcut. Here are the most important things I am learning. Your job is a tool, not a trap. Stop seeing your job as the enemy. Whether it's a warehouse, a coffee shop, a cubicle, it gives you a paycheck and a schedule. Use that stability. See it as a launch pad for your actual career. It's your financial support while you build an escape pod. You must must, I cannot stress this enough, you must understand money. You can't leap without a net. Before you even think about quitting, build that 6 to 12 months of emergency funds. Track your spending like a freaking hawk in the sky. Getting your finances in order is non-negotiable. It's a prerequisite. Because creative freedom is built off of financial stability. Become a learning machine. Your degree does not matter nearly as much as your ability to learn new things. The creative world moves fast. I use free resources like YouTube, podcasts, and blogs to constantly level up. Learn about marketing, editing, design. Whatever your ability to adapt is your most valuable asset. Mine your experience for gold. Don't dismiss your current job. In customer service, you're an expert in communication management. Working in logistics, you understand systems and efficiency. Reframe your duties as skill. Every job teaches you something. It's on you to figure out what it is and how to use it for your best interest. For 11 years, I really did think that my life was on hold. I was waiting for the perfect time. For my lucky break, for someone to come along and give me permission to go live out my dreams. But you have to be the one to give yourself permission. You have to build your own luck. The path from that forklift to the microphone isn't a straight path. It's messy, it's hard, and it's the most rewarding thing that you'll ever do. If you are where I am right now and feeling stuck and dreaming of more, I want you to know that it's possible. Your story doesn't have to be about you wasting your years. It can be about using them. Take a hard look at the cage that you are in right now and find the freaking key. Find the key, girl. It might be hidden in the routine. It may be hidden in the paycheck. Or just in the discipline of showing up every day. My journey is far from over. This is really, literally just the beginning. But if you want to see what's next and get more practical advice on building a creative career from someone who's actually trying to build a creative career from nothing, then make sure to subscribe. Your dream is worth it, so start building. My name is Sean, and remember, you got this, I got this, we got this, and I'll see you all next time. Until later, friends. Bye.